Hello and welcome to episode 21 of our Hearts of Iron 3 Puppet Master series. We are kind of slowly forcing the Soviets back. The last episode we focused on the city of Lvov, I think is how you say it, and we took the place and we held it, which is a pretty big improvement, but other than that it's actually been pretty slow advancing against the Soviet Union, but we are advancing. Seeing lots of weak divisions. The Soviets don't seem as strong as they were even 2 episodes ago. But we're just going to have to keep pushing, I think. And, well, one other thing. When I was recording this episode, I accidentally turned my mic off just before I started playing. Which means that instead of live commentary, as all the previous episodes have been, this one will be post-commentary. And unfortunately that's the case for the next few episodes. So sorry about that, you'll just have to bear with it. It does mean that occasionally I might start talking about, say, a particular battle in Poland as the video pans over to look at Africa. But we'll just have to live with it. Anyway, let's get this going. So we're back, and as you can see, the fronts... Well, it's actually been pretty stable. So we have been pushing them back. They are out of East Prussia at the moment. We've got them... Actually, they are very close to Warsaw. I thought we'd push them back a bit further than that. But we've pushed them a long way back from Krakow, which they were almost capturing. Out of Hungary, they're out of Czechoslovakia. Almost pushed them out of Romania, but we have lost all the ground. We held briefly in Odessa there. And otherwise, the front's actually pretty stable. As I said, we've captured Lvov. We've just managed to hold it. But as you see there, Warsaw is in a bit of trouble. Lots of allies, of course. This is a Puppet Master series. So I've got my nice multi-coloured army spread along here, including lots of Romanians and all Austrians down by Odessa is where they decide to go. Elsewhere, we've managed to take the UK. We've taken actually most of Africa, just the southern tips kind of holding out on us. Oh, and this little bit around Liberia. Forgot about them. And yep. Open Commando Africa's just AI controlled, they're doing it. So I'll set Freetown as an objective, just hoping that they can grab that as well. Oh, and sorry, I forgot about Libya. Yeah, we had a division in Africa, but looks like it's gone now. And otherwise, it's just a case of knocking the Portuguese out of the war, and 99.8% of the way towards Portugal surrendering. I believe I've got some spies. Yep, a few of them. Only a few, only 5. 7 in the UK. I don't have any more free spies. So once those guys are done, that's going to be it. So I'll go to... I'm making a lot of free spies, so hopefully they'll get there soon. Technologies... We've actually got a lot to research at the moment, but we're up to 1946 technology, it's only 1944, so we are technologically advanced. Production's going alright. 237 I can spend on new productions at the moment, which is getting me a fair few divisions you can see there in ships, and yep, lots I intend to build, but not as much as I'm currently building. Most of it's going to Africa. I just want to give them a quick kind of surge so that they can finish off South Africa, really. I've gotten a bit sick of sending resources down there just to watch the AI not do anything. But still, I'm not going to take over. I could probably end that war in a month if I actually controlled it manually, but it's a sideshow, and I'd much rather just focus on getting my SS Corps to finish off the Soviets. Speaking of which, here's the SS Army all around Lvov. I see we're kind of just in defensive positions yet now. Basically, I said we've held Lvov, and we have. It's the one bit over that river that we currently hold, but that's good enough. And as you see, I'm also building a few more SS divisions, 4 more of them to come, just because I can really. I think I lost a few as well. Yep, just move them up to the top, and they'll be ready in January 1945. It's currently July 1944, so we'll get the game going. We're actually doing pretty well considering that, Germany in July 1944 wasn't in a great position. We're also not in a great position, but I don't think it's as desperate as it was back then. Unfortunately, lots of Soviet divisions directly across from us, including heavy armoured and some mechanised divisions. I haven't bothered putting any industrial capacity into those, or researching them either. Oh, and there's a Guards division there as well. Ah, reinforced popped on Portugal. So I get to add another flag to my opening screen, which has been a while. The last one was Romania. Portugal, of course, oh good, they're at war with the Soviet Union. Not going to be a powerful ally. They don't have a lot of industrial capacity. They wouldn't have a lot of soldiers left. Not that I've killed. Oh, I gained a bit of ground here. That's excellent. Yeah, not that I've killed a lot of these Portuguese troops, but it's just a case of they're never going to have a lot of troops to start with. But still, it's gained me Angola and Mozambique. Oh, and of course a little bit of China there, and East Timor. Of course, I'm not actually defending any of my Asian possessions. It's just for some reason AI is not attacking them, even though they could totally have them if they want. And if I've seen Portugal to defend Warsaw. Not sure if they will. Well, I don't think they've got anyone they could, but it would be nice. Well, yeah, no need to send spies to Portugal anymore, and what can they do? I've got 4 spies in that country. Support the ruling party, might as well. And you see they've got 6 industrial capacity, so not going to be building divisions anytime soon. I kind of want to pull the SS troops back off the front. Well, I don't really want to pull them back. I want to do something useful with them. Oh, there's a bit of a gap around here. And along the Prussian front here, it's actually a lot less Soviet troops than they have around Lvov. And more gaps in the Romanian. I could possibly do an encirclement around there. Cross the river at Lvov, head straight down the river line and trap a few divisions. Actually, it doesn't look like it's going to be necessary. It looks like the AI is pushing forward here without my assistance. More gaps opening up in the line just north of Lvov. And it's very thin in front of Warsaw, and it looks quite thin in front of Odessa as well. Oops, that wasn't my SS core I wanted. Or was it? No, there we go, Blaskowitz's core. Just send them across the river to an unoccupied province. And then around, another little encirclement there. It's a possibility. A bit big though, I think. Okay, we'll give it a go at least. Or at least gain some ground. And where's the other SS core? Way down here. Only got 2 divisions. So yeah, they can just both go and hold Lvov. And then from there we might push out. We'll just see what happens. We gain that province without a fight, and we're moving, just expanding the frontier really. And these divisions aren't weak, they're at full health, but well, my SS divisions are pretty powerful on the offensive, so they're not going to be able to stand long against us, even though one of them is armoured, or light armoured I should say. My SS troops are in pretty good condition considering they're just in pretty serious fighting. Doesn't take them long to recover, which is pretty handy. And we'll just keep pushing out. I have been seeing lots of understrength Soviet divisions, but apparently not around here. Iron Warsaw is no longer under threat up at the top of the screen there. But they have pushed into Prussia, just one province, although it looks like we're about to grab that back. And we are pushing them out of Romania. And okay, we've created a bit of a bulge in their lines here. We don't really have the numbers to push through and do anything with it though, but we can just keep driving them back. Get student to support the push out of Lvov. And Poland's not even close to surrendering. I was a bit concerned about it for a little while, but I've managed to turn it around. Oh, a success in even attacking. Yep, attack, please. Okay, looks like we're just stopping this for now. Oh, and there's the 69th Infantry Division, the one with no infantry, it's only got artillery and anti-tank. I keep meaning to disband that. It's actually a very experienced unit. I mean, I actually don't think it does any good in combat, because I think it can't actually go on the front lines, it has to stay in reserve. And it's got like no combat, but well, if it does go on the front lines, it's got no combat width. So it might actually do very well there just because it's an extra division. Oh, I'm not sure how this works at all. We'll just leave it around for now. I'm trying to push across the river here, but it's not looking great. Actually, there's a lot more Soviet divisions in the far south than there was last time I looked. 69th Infantry's in the battle here, but no, it's in reserve. A reinforcement chance 0% suggests that it actually can't be on the front lines. But yeah, which means it's kind of useless to have, so I should get rid of it. But I won't be able to while it's retreating, so we'll just grab that at some point later. So AI's working. Oh, actually they're pushing down onto this bulge from the north as well. Kind of. So perhaps I could do an encirclement around Warsaw here. Head straight up to Brest-Litovsk. Yeah, I also don't know. I think that's Brest-Litovsk. Brzezik-Litovsky. I'm just going to keep calling it Brest-Litovsk because I think that's what it's called. What it's normally called if you're not Polish. The Soviets are launching counterattacks with lots of divisions, and it is actually doing some pretty serious damage to my guys. We've got guard divisions in there and mechanised divisions, so those will do a fair bit of damage. Again, we're pushing away from Warsaw. I don't think it's really under serious threat. There's just so many allied divisions around here that I doubt they could do anything effective against them, even if they, well, they do want to. But I just don't think, I think we've got more than enough troops there to hold the Soviets back from Warsaw. It's got a great mob here, but the Soviets have managed to push across the river. Looks like basically the river's there is just enough of a barrier that neither side can pass it at the moment. And the way my mouse is flailing around, I was obviously trying to communicate something at this point, but I have no idea what I was trying to say. I think I'm saying I want the Romanians to go and take the Crimean Peninsula, based on what that looked like. Just circle Bucharest, go over there, circle the... Oh, look, circling Bucharest again. No idea what the point of this is. But anyway, my SS Corps is almost ready to attack. And we've still got an opportunity to head straight north. A few divisions there that we could grab. If those divisions in that little pocket up there, or the little protrusion out of our lines, if they can hold their position, shouldn't be much difficulty. I say that, I don't actually have that many SS divisions, so it might be a little bit difficult. Okay, so I'm moving the first corps to do the bulk of the... Well, they're going to do the breakthrough and move in one province. When the second SS Corps oops, will be the ones pushing through to complete the breakthrough. So here we go, we're breaking through the front lines. Well, we're attempting to break through the front lines, I should say, at Dublin. Again, one of those weak divisions. But there's some guards there, and the rest are in pretty good condition, but against 5 SS divisions, they probably won't be able to hold the front. Just basically, I think they'll wait till day breaks, and there you go, suddenly they're losing organisation rapidly, especially the guards. And I think the guards were basically the ones that were probably the most effective at holding the line there. And yep, they are being slaughtered. Of course, my SS divisions have armour, motorised infantry, rocket artillery, tank destroyers. So it's not surprising that infantry divisions can really stand against that kind of firepower. Of course, they're not that great on the defence because they don't have a lot of infantry. Well, there you see, you've got spout-powered rocket artillery engineers, which would have helped just crossing that river. Oh, and of course that little protrusion I needed just disappeared. But we'll see what we can make of this. Even if we can manage to encircle just that one province beside Warsaw, that would be a lot of Soviet divisions gone. I might have to move von Schweppenberg's division here forward and just hope my allies can hold that province. And my headquarters have outrun my armoured troops. So they attempted to attack by themselves and were defeated, and now they will retreat. And the Mongolians are counterattacking me, and they got absolutely slaughtered for their trouble. It's always nice to slaughter people even if they are just Romanians. I said just Romanians. Compared to the Soviet Union in this time frame, they're not that powerful. But yeah. I actually imagine Mongolia is probably suffering severe manpower shortages. I don't get a lot of manpower, and I've destroyed, well not destroyed, but done a lot of damage to the divisions a few times now. And the Soviets have a lot of good divisions, and I don't. Which means there's a good chance I might lose this battle. I've got more that will join the fight in 16 hours or so. 13, 12. And I think once they get into the fight, we probably win this. I'm not doing a lot of damage against that heavy armoured division, but it is very well worn down. So yeah, I'm not sure actually what's happening with these worn down divisions. Like, I'm kind of sitting there going, it's got to be one of two things. Either the Soviet Union is running out of manpower, or the Soviet Union's running out of industrial capacity to like reinforce its divisions, and neither of those really seem likely, and I can't think of anything else it would be though. I mean, it could actually just be that they're running out of manpower. But they've been fighting for 3 years, I think, on a pretty narrow front, and my divisions have a lot of artillery. Plus I've got all my allies here. And it could just be that between us we've just killed so many Russians that, or I should say Soviets, that they're actually starting to feel the hurt. I mean, early on, way back in about, I don't know, episode 9 or something, I did decide I was going to fight the Soviets on a small front. I can't actually remember what my logic for that was, but one of the things about fighting on small fronts, I think my logic was that the Soviets were going to outnumber me, whereas I was going to have qualitatively better divisions, so I wanted them to basically always fill up the front lines, so that my superior firepower would get me victories. And well, the advantage of that is that basically we get to just slaughter the Soviet divisions, and I get to have a lot of divisions on the front line, and they can't attack me with all their divisions at once. And my firepower just gets to do its job. Our encirclement plan is basically over because the AI took the province I was encircling and allowed the enemy to all escape to the north. So yeah, encirclement over. We still managed to gain, I suppose, 4 provinces. Make that 3, we just lost 1 from the Soviets. And Warsaw's probably well and truly safe at this point. So I mean, that's good. We don't have to worry about Poland. But I still feel like I should be trying to knock Soviet divisions out of this game. I really have to weaken this front. I mean, well, the other option, I keep seeing these weak divisions. It could just be a temporary thing. It could just be that my attacks... Oh, big Soviet push into Romania here. Heavy armoured division leading the way. Of course, I have been struggling to deal with them. I don't really have anything capable of dealing with heavy... Oh, we've also lost Lvov. Ah, bugger. Well, it happens a lot when I take my SS troops off the front line. Suddenly, Soviets are able to take things back. But, well, secured Warsaw, lost Lvov, and we pushed into Romania. Yeah. So maybe it is actually just that I'm temporarily weakening Soviet divisions quicker than they can be repaired. But maybe there is no long-term Soviet shortages here. Maybe it's just in my imagination. I mean, the Soviets did fight on for 1 year longer than this, and then they decided to attack Japan. So, I mean, historically they had enough manpower to deal with this. So, yeah, maybe I'm being a bit optimistic here. Pulling my SS right back out. They need time to recover. Well, actually, a couple of divisions are in decent condition, but I'll give them a bit of time to recover, and then I think we have to send them way down south, possibly. Yeah, it looks like... Actually, it looks like they might have encircled those... Oh no, the heavy armoured divisions just being pulled back into the air. We've managed to hold the front, kind of. Lost a lot of ground. The Soviets managed to push over that river that I said was kind of blocking everyone's attempts to cross it. But yeah, Warsaw looks safe at least. And again, looks like Brest-Litovsk might be within our reach. And no change in Africa. 1 Iraqi division facing a horde of Italian divisions, and actually those Italian divisions are in an excellent position to encircle it, but they just won't. We aren't attacking South Africa for some reason. We're not really pushing into East Africa either. Have taken Freetown though, so yay. And Portuguese have no troops in Portugal. Of course, I've taken the UK, but the British still hold Scapa Flow, which is why you still hear convoys being sunk. There would be convoys going to there, which I am sinking, and I imagine they're raiding from Scapa Flow and sinking some of my convoys to Africa. And of course, all these allies, even the ones in Europe that don't share a direct land border with me, are shipping me their resources by sea, which also means I'm taking a fair few losses from them. I'm obviously thinking about pushing into Brest-Litovsk once I get my SS army all sorted. You know, the AI is actually doing a pretty good job here of driving the Soviets back. It's in the south that we're struggling. But hopefully I can push quicker in the north than they can in the south. I doubt it though. And let's see what we're doing here on land. Soviet Union. Well, they took a lot of losses at one point fairly recently. Whereas, yeah, apparently I'm beating them 10-1. At least over the last month. Over the last year, it's the other way around. Well, not quite the same scale, but I've taken a lot heavier losses than they have. At least in manpower and over the entire conflict. It's still in their favour. So, that's not good. Oh, I've actually only got 59 manpower left. That's not good at all. But my organisation for my SS troops is increasing. I did earlier on, right back at the start of this war, manage an encirclement, or actually not start of the war, the point where I began to actually pay attention to fighting the Soviets. Managed an encirclement against the Lithuanian border, so that's another option, but I'll just switch my Oberkommando Europe to a defensive stance. Manpower problems. I don't want to really be attacking now. I'm just going to focus on holding the Soviets. My allies are still attacking though. Their targets will include Stalingrad, so they are really trying to attack. And hopefully I can let them take the brunt of the fighting for a while and let my manpower supply recover a bit. I say optimistically, but realistically I've got about half the troops on the front here are mine, and they're going to have to stay on the front and keep taking casualties. So I'm not sure what difference this was actually going to make. And we'll end it there. It was a fairly short one. But yeah, bit of a swing and roundabout really. Lost ground in the centre and south. Pushed them back a bit in the north. But I feel like my optimism's starting to wane a bit. Yeah, kind of gutted. I was actually pretty happy to have taken Lvov, but we've lost it now. Still seeing some weak Soviet divisions, but when they can still push forward and drive us back deeper into Romania and capture Lvov, maybe there's not actually, I'm putting too much significance on that possibly. But anyway, I hope you've all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time.